What's going on, guys? Billy here, and the new Mavic 2 series has a ton of little features baked in that separate it from the original Mavic Pro and really every other drone on the market. One of these features is a pair of downward-facing LEDs that help the drone land in low-light scenarios. It can also be turned on during flight to be used as a way to track the drone through the sky in low-light situations. When they announced this feature at the Mavic 2 launch event, I got so excited I probably looked like an idiot because it was such a small feature, and they announced so many bigger things. But honestly, this little light on the bottom of the drone has proven to be very helpful. Now, before I go any further, I should probably mention that these LEDs on the bottom of the drone are available for both the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom, as they essentially have the same body, so no matter which drone you bought and fly, you will have access to this feature. Taking a closer look at the full bottom plate, we have two vision positioning sensors, one at the top and one at the bottom. In the middle is a pair of infrared sensors that detect obstacles, and then there's the two LEDs that we're going to be focusing on here today. Now, there are a few different ways to turn these lights on, one of which is right within the DJI Go app by tapping on the three dots in the top right corner and then heading to the visual navigation settings. Find where it says bottom auxiliary light, and then you can choose between auto, on, and off. You can also go to the controller settings, scroll down to the custom buttons, and choose either one of the C buttons on the back to cycle through the auxiliary light modes. Click once for on, click once again for off, and then click once again to flip back into automatic. If you're wondering what automatic is, I'll explain that in a little bit, but honestly, it just kind of does what it sounds like. Now on to the testing portion of this video. The first thing I wanted to try was daytime flight with the LEDs to see if they were of any help. Long story short, they weren't. Now, don't get me wrong, these lights are seriously bright, even when I'm shooting at my table here with lights everywhere, but during the daytime, it just really doesn't make sense. If you're directly under the drone, you can still see the light even at 400 feet up in the sky. Do you see that little speck? Sorry, I don't really have the best camera lens. But anyway, even when I tried flying it backwards with the bottom of the drone pointing toward myself, I lost the light before I lost sight of the Mavic itself. So all in all, no need to use these auxiliary lights during the day. It's just going to be a waste of battery. Transitioning here to dusk, so just before the sunset, I once again flew the drone straight back from the same spot, and I was shocked. Like, the light really stood out even with the sun setting behind the trees. I would say I flew about 3,500 or 4,000 feet away before I lost sight of the light, but all in all, I would call that a success. Now let's get to the fun part, nighttime flight. These LEDs were legit so bright that I felt like I was causing a scene down near the art museum in Philly. Here at my desk, they light up the whole entire space with all the lights off, and when I was flying directly above my head, it lit up the entire area. I thought of a cool use for these lights when doing work at night, like maybe illuminating areas that are dark. So for example, let's say you're loading things into the bed of your truck. You could go ahead and put the Mavic 2 just above your truck to flood the entire area with light. Just like during the daytime, I shot this thing high up into the sky, and it was no surprise that I could perfectly see it up at 400 feet in the air. It was one of those things where if you looked up directly into the light, it still blinded me even from that height. Now on my way back down, I decided to record straight from the drone, and you can see just how much light pours out from these two LEDs. This is especially true as it gets 4 or 5 feet off the ground, which greatly improves how the sensors work when you approach the ground to land. I again brought the drone over to the same spot and flew it straight backwards, and the visibility distance with this light at nighttime I found to be just shy of 2 miles, but it doesn't really work all that well unless you're moving away from where you're located. So let's say you fly straight back and you can still see the light. It's going to cut out immediately as soon as you start to fly towards you, because then the back of the drone is facing away from you. Now, these lights, of course, are not meant to act as just spotlights in the sky, but instead they're designed to automatically turn on as the drone comes down to land. When set to automatic, the drone knows when the obstacle avoidance sensors don't have enough light to function properly and automatically turn the light on when you get to about 15 feet off of the ground. Now, I don't know if it's exactly 15 feet, like if it's programmed to turn on as soon as within the app it hits 15 feet, but it seemed around that general time, around that general height, the lights would kick on when coming down to land. I can't lie to you, this feature is pretty sweet, and I really hope that DJI continues to implement this into future designs across all of their drones. I mean, Phantom, Inspire, and the Mavic, it really does prove to be helpful. And here's a real world situation that actually happened to me where these LEDs were helpful. I was flying the drone probably about 2,000 feet away, and on my way back, I looked down at the map to make sure that it was just above the home point. When I looked up, I couldn't find it. The status LEDs are around the outside, so I saw no red, I saw no green, and also the LEDs really aren't all that bright. So all I had to do was quickly flash those bottom auxiliary lights, and I saw them immediately. Like, I saw the drone and I was able to bring it down. So really, they are helpful, especially when flying at nighttime and also when landing. A huge help. Now, I would love to know what you guys think of these auxiliary lights down in the comment section. Again, such a small feature, but really so helpful. Let me know what you guys think, if you use them, all that good stuff. But guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.